Today, the Montana State Prison went into lockdown after an inmate was unaccounted for. Harry Lamar, sentenced for sexual intercourse without consent, aggravated kidnapping, and burglary out of Missoula, was eventually found within the fenced area of the prison compound. Well, Lewis and Clark County Sheriff Leo Dutton says he will withhold information on future events until all the facts can be verified. Now, the sheriff is referring to this week's scare at a Helena elementary school that caught national attention. MTN's Jessica Nelson has the details on this change in communication.
If I could go back, I wouldn't use the word IED.
Early Tuesday morning, law enforcement officials were called to Rossiter Elementary School after a staff member found a suspicious-looking plastic bottle on the campus playground. Students were evacuated, streets were shut down, and a news release was sent out in which the public was told an improvised explosive device had detonated.
The deputy that responded is a veteran. I know him. He looked at it and it matched the criteria which he's seen overseas. A bottle with tape around it with nuts and bolts scattered in a long debris field.
The announcement of the object being an IED was made around 9:30 Tuesday morning. 5 hours later, law enforcement had a much better understanding of what the item truly was and what had unfolded that led to the bottle being placed where it was found. The bottle had been moved to the school from a nearby construction site earlier.
Find some video and still pictures that apparently earlier in the morning that bottle was upright, such as described earlier, that a young man tried to kick a field goal with it.
When the boy kicked the bottle, its contents sprayed, leading officers to believe it had detonated.
I had no choice. Knowing what I knew then versus what we know now, totally different decisions. The only thing I would change is how I said it. The actions, I wouldn't change.
It's no surprise how law enforcement responded to this suspicious item as if it were a bomb, considering the fact they respond to dozens of potential explosive devices every year, including sparkler bombs and even pipe bombs.
We have a robot, the ability to x-ray on scene, and then they have chemical tests that they can do right there. There was no explosive material, anything like that.
Sheriff Dutton is proud of his deputies and even more proud of how well the students and staff at Rossiter handled the situation. But he says in the future, some things will be handled differently.
From this point on, I'll be withholding information till I can verify. I trust the deputies. That's what they saw. And I hope people understand in law enforcement, you have to make a snap decision in 3 seconds or less.
With photographer John Riley, I'm Jessica Nelson, MTN News.
Thanks, Jessica. Now, Sheriff Dutton also says he'll work with the schools to start a one-call system so everyone is on the same page as quickly as possible.